I spoke to you last week about how revalidation process for physician associates could change following this consultation and the GMC regulation. I said it could take about 2 to 3 years. These guys are moving quicker than I initially anticipated. Recently, probably Monday, the GMC announced how it will be revalidating physician associates after the regulation. And the beautiful thing is, there will be no exams. So before this, you qualify as a physician associate to sit your paying exams. Handle your business, work. Then 6 years down the line, you had to sit a written part of the paying exam again. That is no longer the case. Personally, I found that whole exam business insulting. I've sat my exam, I'm out here, I'm working. Why do I need to show you every 6 years that I'm still maintaining my generalist knowledge? Mind your own goddamn business. So this is what the FPA is saying. From May of 2023, physician associates will no longer be required to sit the recertification exam. So even if you were booked to sit the recertification exam, you are not going to do it. It is no longer required. They'll be releasing an e-portfolio of the sorts somewhere in October to allow people to record their CPDs, their mini cases, CBDs as well, and to continue to show your generalist knowledge before the regulation. They'll be releasing what they call the core clinical practice curriculum, which will be covering the areas that written part of the paying exam was testing initially. It is not out yet, but in October, I suppose the FPA will release something. So the main thing is you'll not be sitting a recertification exam again. This reminds me, when I was in my last year of physician associates, we had to do this elective. You had to speak with a consultant from a department you had already been in, or even one that perhaps you had never been in. My cohort was 99.9% women. They were stressed about this issue. Arranging this meeting here, trying to get with this consultant here, and me, big boy, not a single email sent to any consultant or any department. So I was like, Mark 2. Whatever happens will happen. Time goes on and the girls finally get their placement. Some will be going to neurology, some will be going to orthopedics, some will be going with the diabetic specialist. They can't wait to go to their elective placement. Then boom, the pandemic happens. Everything gets cancelled. Everything. And I'm sitting there. I know people are miserable. It's pandemic. They are worried. The only thing I was thinking about is the fact that I don't have to do any elective hours. In the back of my mind, I hated the fact that I knew I was going to sit another exam. It pissed me off. It was just nagging. But it's no more. There are other ways we are going to do this. The GMC says this is how it's going to revalidate us. Every year during your annual appraisal, your employer will be looking at 6 pieces of evidence. Are you engaging with your continuous professional development? What sort of complaints and compliments are you getting? What sort of feedback are you getting from patients? What sort of feedback are you getting from your colleagues? Are you engaging in any quality improvement stuff? And are there any significant events that need to be discussed? Then every 5 years, your employer will have to make a recommendation to say whether you are fit to practice or not. Over the past 5 years, bro has been engaging with the CPD, getting some compliments from the patients. Nobody says he's chopping off heads. Colleagues say he's fine. He's not the best, but we can tolerate him. Patients love him, which is good. He's not killed anybody yet. That is also very important. Yeah, he's fit to work. Who will be doing this revalidation? Who will be giving this thing? Doctors have someone they call a responsible officer who normally does this for them. This could be other doctors. For physician associates, it seems there could be something like a responsible officer as well, but it is not going to be limited just to the responsible officer. Other colleagues and other members of the organization in which you work can also contribute to this revalidation process. When it comes time to the revalidation and you as a physician associate, you are no longer practicing. You just have to give up your registration and then reapply in the future if you want to get back onto the register. The CCPC. Sounding like I'm speaking about a Chinese party over here. The core clinical practice curriculum I was speaking of, which the FPA will be using to ensure that current physician associates on the voluntary register are still maintaining their competencies. If they check it in the future and they feel you are not sufficiently engaging with it, they reserve the right to ask you to sit the paying exams again. So, though after regulation, we will not be sitting the recertification again. Based on what the FPA says, till GMC comes in, they reserve the right to ask you to sit the paying exams again. It's your boy Yoti and I'm out. Salute.